Hey everybody, welcome back to Southern Boys Motorsport Becoming Legends, episode 3. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about upcoming projects I have prepared for the car and actually for the team as well as you guys. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it because I actually am kind of short on time. I'm going to be going to a K1 racing league right after this. So let's get right into this. So as far as the project goes, the first thing we want to talk about is the car. Now, the car itself, 2018 Kia Stinger, for those who don't know what this car is a pretty good race-built race car already. Of course, it is meant for street. Nothing about it really seems like much of a race car, but it actually has a few qualities. So right now, the Kia Stinger is still stock. Nothing has been modified or anything. It has a four-cylinder inline engine in it, packing 255 horsepower, as well as rear-wheel drive. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it kind of gives you that racing feel. It's an 8-speed automatic, and it comes with paddle shifters. So if you go down into drive, flick it to the left a little bit, and then you can use your paddle shifters. Now, I haven't personally taken this on a big track or anything yet, but I could definitely say by going down windy turns here and there, this car can actually hold its own. It's very good at handling. It's very low. It has a very good low center of gravity. It's kind of like a Porsche, like how it grips around, but it's not a Porsche, of course. And it's pretty light for its size too. Now, that being said, the question is, what are we going to do to the car? Now, just to give you guys a concept design of what the car is supposed to look like when we're done, here it is. That's what it's supposed to look like. Now, it kind of seems a little bit broad and difficult to do, but believe it or not, we actually know where we could go to get these parts, as well as get the body the way it is. And it's not really a lot of work to be done, it's just getting the parts to do it. So, like I told you guys in the first video, if you guys was going to turn your car into a daily driver, like a daily driver into a race car, then you had to start from the bottom and then build your way up. For me, I'm trying to get all the parts first and then get into the build. So first things first, your tires. Tires is going to be the main thing you want to focus on, as well as your wheels and brake pads. These are the things that you're going to be hauling through the turns, and you have to make sure you get some good, reliable tires, so it doesn't like explode or go flat not too long while you're in the track day. So as far as tires go, I thought of a few different brands, maybe Bridgestone, maybe Yokohama, or something like that. I kind of leaning towards Michelin if possible, but I'm good with Bridgestone if it comes down to it. As well as on wheels, and skis are pretty good due to the fact that they're very lightweight, and I feel like that will be, you know, pretty acceptable and not really that expensive. Now, the next thing you want to talk about is brake pads. I'm not too familiar with what brake pads that we are currently trying to go for, but we was planning on going to the Kia dealership and just getting the regular performance brakes with it. These are just regular stocks. These ain't performance, of course. But the GT version of this car has those type of brakes. So pretty much, we're taking the GT version of this car, and we're going to take some there's the engine, the springs and struts a little for this car. Since they pretty much have the same chassis, there's not really much we have to do to it. Now we get to talk about the engine. Now when it comes to the engine, we are mostly focusing on fluids and of course what we're going to do with the engine, as well as air intakes and any kind of small modifications to it. Now this is usually a part where I would bring one of my engineers on this one, but this is just going to be me explaining it off the dome. I actually don't know what brand we are using, but as far as I'm aware, the whole point of getting a car ready for time attacks or GT or endurance or anything like that, whatever, your car is going to go through a lot of stress. So you have to make sure you have the right fluids and good coolant for the engine, because your car is going to get hot. And since we're in Cali, it's definitely going to get hot. So what you guys want to do is look for two different types of oils. One for your engine, transmission, as well as your drivetrain. And for the engine, I recommend like Mutual or Mobile One. Those are the two good brands to go for when it comes to those type of fluids for the engine, transmission, and um, drivetrain. Now, the engine. As far as the engine goes, we're planning to switch the four-cylinder with a 3.3 liter V6 twin turbo, which is in the GT version of this car. And like I said, it's gonna be quite a big engine, and it is, but it's gonna fit in here. There's actually a lot of room in this. See, I'm not lying. There's actually a lot of room in here. Next, we're going to talk about the body work. Now, when it comes to the body of the car, of course, I was trying to do things under a budget, of course. So I wasn't planning on doing something big, like put a whole wide body on it. But luckily, I actually found a source where we could get a performance body on the car and be in the affordable range. Now, this is the part where I have to explain that racing is still an expensive sport, and it's easy to get into, it's just hard to maintain due to your budget. So when it comes to the body work of it, like you see in the picture, we are actually going to be possibly doing it ourselves, or we're going to go to AWR Racing. Now, AWR Racing is not too far from where I am right now, but it's a company that pretty much already like focuses on building bodies, racing bodies for cars. And after doing some research with them, they actually do some good quality work. They mostly work around like Miatas, Ford Focuses, but I don't know if they do stuff for this particular kind of car. But that's of course for a future update. But for right now, we know that they're probably the main ones we're going to go for. But our engineers are actually planning to probably make their own. As far as what they said, it's not difficult. It's just that it's probably going to be a little messy looking. And of course, you kind of have to drill stuff into the car if you're trying to do it. But I'm not looking for something flashy. I'm looking for something good for performance. Now we talk about little add-ons, attachments pretty much. So for the car, we actually do have a wing already. It's a adjustable GT wing. It's this right here. I actually carbon fiber wrap it myself, but at the same time, I kind of felt like it's probably need to be something better. But this is the affordable option. And as well as diffuser, I wasn't planning on going with a diffuser or anything like that, so I might leave it stock as far as the diffuser. Now we get to talk about the fun part, weight reduction. Weight reduction is the most fun part about making your car a race car. You are taking out everything in this car. That includes the seats, the carpets, the roof, and the dash. Everything is coming out. And this would be nothing but bare metal by the time you're done. Of course, the only thing that might stay is your driver's seat, but at the same time, you eventually will take that out in order to replace it with a racing seat, like a bucket seat from Sparco, which is one of our sponsors too, and go about it your way. But also, we have to install a roll cage, which I feel like AWR will also do, but like I said, that's the update that I have to come back at you guys later on. But a roll cage is something that you guys can actually easily do. It's not hard to find the metal to do so, and it doesn't take a lot of rocket science. You just need to know how to weld. Another thing I want to mention, when you're doing weight reduction, understand weight reduction is a choice. We're not making this, for example, a full race car just yet, because even when we build it to look like a race car, perform like one, it still keeps its regular street features. Because the whole point is for me to go to the track, race it there, and when the day is done, I do my little fixings so it can be back to a street car. Of course, it's just going to look like a race car going down the street. But it's going to be difficult. We're going to have a change of engine, so I know it probably ain't going to pass smog, but we'll find out a way. So whenever you guys are doing this to your car, keep that in mind. Everything is going to change about your car, especially swapping the engine. Because once you swap an engine, you had to do all this wiring stuff. Like, you had to make sure you program the ECU to recognize the new engine, new tire. Like, it's a lot. But for a Kia Stinger, there's mostly wires. It's a hybrid, technically. Also, as far as the racing part of this whole project, I actually did my own research. Like, my actual goal for the Stinger, I wanted to get it up to IMSA standards for endurance racing or competitive racing like that. But of course, sadly, the Stinger is never going to do that. only because one key detail that I've seen is that it's not a factory two-door car, it's a four-door. And even though we actually planned out a blueprint of what it would look like if it was a two-door one, and I actually made one, here it is. If we actually went along with that plan, even if we make our own two-door car, they still want to accept it, even if we pass regulation and everything. And top all off, all parts, modification stuff has to come from the manufacturer itself too. So it can meet all requirements, horsepower, weight, safety regulations, whatever, but it still won't let it in, which sucks. So what am I to do? Well, Willow Springs and Button Willow are the two big tracks where I would say that we could take this car out for track days and time attack runs. Because I know SCCA, they actually do occasional events, whether it's rally or track days or time attacks. And we're actually going to have one in November. So hopefully we get something set with the car so we could go and compete there. But the good news about SCCA is that some of their events, they allow you, actually most of their events, allow you to take your stock car and go out there and race it as is. Of course, you have to have regular safety equipment, which is your helmet, gloves, suit, or if you don't need a suit, I'm not talking about a suit. If you have a suit, that would be cool too. A helmet, gloves, and toe cover shoes. And bam, you already got that. So that is pretty much how the whole project for the car is as of now. I want to get more in detail with it, but that's probably something I can't really give you because everything is still being processed. But I didn't want to miss out the chance to tell you guys what's going on with the project as far as the car. So with that being done, we also have one more thing to talk about when it comes to the car. And the thing we have to talk about is the wrap. As you can see, all of this is just regular stickers that I happen to get on Amazon for a pretty good price. Nothing too serious. I didn't want to go over the top with everything. This was actually a little bit difficult than I thought it was because I had to align the stripes. But I have basic stickers on my car. A 41 stripes, the small sponsors right here, and my name. That's all I got. You don't have to look glamorous. But of course, when we go out on the track, we want to pop out. So what kind of design are we going for? Well, the Kia actually has multiple of design templates that we actually came up with. And one of the things that we wanted to go with, which was my main idea, is the Mac Daddy wrap. Now, it was actually pretty good because I like blue, so I was going to go with blue, whatever. But the Kia Stinger also has like two other designs too. There's a black and gold design sponsoring the team, and we have a W energy drink sponsor design too. Now, when it comes to the wraps, if you happen to have a buddy of yours that know how to wrap, or you have your own vinyl wrap that you can do yourself, man, you save yourself a lot of time and money. But if you are going to go out and get your car wrapped, there's plenty of places to go, especially in Cali if you're trying to get your car wrapped, but the prices do vary. For example, I did actually try to research how much it would cost to get my car wrapped in the Mac Daddy paint scheme. So to come out honest and simple, it costs between $3,500 to $4,500 for the full custom wrap. And I believe that's also with the decal cuts or with the decals. Me personally, I'm going with decal cuts because I'm going to put my own number, style, and everything like that. But I don't know. It might be different for you guys. But depending on the design and depending where you go, the prices vary. But $3,500 and $4,500 is actually the cheap range as far as wrapping your car. But some people decide maybe we should paint it. Sadly, I can't. Like I said, we have to make do with whatever we have. So as far as the car wrap, we're going to go with the Mac Daddy scheme, but until further notice, we're still going to rock with the classic retro blue and white stripes. So that's pretty much it as far as the car. Now, let's get into your guys' update. Now comes to the final update and project that I want to explain to you guys that will help the team and also help you guys get into racing if you guys happen to be near one of our events when the time comes. Now, when it comes to the team itself, I do want to get you guys a big update as far as where are we going to be after all the military stuff is done. Well, actually, we actually found out where we're going to make our warehouse. And yes, we're making a warehouse for our team. And it's going to be stationed out in Jackson, Tennessee. It's a pretty good area, not far from any warehouses, still near Nashville, and we got good highway access. So we got a good area to work with as well as land. That being said, there's a certain thing in this little packet here, a very worn packet that's been in my bag a lot, in and out. Well, we have a racing series that I actually plan on creating for not just me or the team, but for you guys to enter and race them. Now, there's a lot of, how can I say, difficulties with that idea, but thankfully I had 3 years to actually build this project. So here we go. Here it is, guys, the Global Manufacturer Challenge, GMC Street Series. Now, this should already come to some kind of recognition. If you're aware of how NASCAR came to Coronado Naval Base, we're pretty much doing kind of what they did, except whenever we make the tracks on the streets, it's actually not just willy-nilly tracks or street racing. It's just a legal racetrack that we're able to make depending on the area. And wherever we go, we make a track. Because we know that a lot of places where you guys probably are, you guys had good local tracks that are probably bought out or probably tore down. And so we are the ones who are making the tracks so you guys can have something to have fun on. So the Global Manufacturer Challenge is not only just a regular racing series of like 3 or 4 types of race manufacturers. And no, it's the Global Manufacturer Challenge, meaning it is meant for almost all manufacturers. It just has to qualify within, of course, the rule books, its regulations, modifications. But to give you guys some hope, most of the cars in this challenge, racing series, are cars you guys already use on a daily basis. Whether it's your Dodge Chargers or Challengers, I haven't really determined which one. It's just the Dodge, but or Ford Mustang, Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Kia Stinger, of course, Nissan, BMW. Like, there's a lot of manufacturers that are playing a part in there. So without further ado, I'm just going to simplify this so you guys can understand this a little bit better. Here is a sum chart of the ones I already have listed down. Now, there may be additions and there may be subtractions, so bear with me. So we have 3 different types of classes. There is a tuner class, there is a muscle and sports class, and we have a luxury performance class. Of course, the names kind of already tell you what kind of race cars are going to be in this. So for the tuner class, this consists of manufacturers like Honda, Toyota, and Stinger. Pretty much the 4 inline turbo or agile type engines. So for those cars, Honda, we got Civic Type R or the Civic Si. For Toyota, we got the GR Corolla or GR86. And for the Kia, we got the Kia Stinger GT or the regular base model like I have, as well as the K5 GT. Now, when it comes to the tuner, like I said, those are just what we have now. It could be more. I have no problem if you guys give me ideas of what manufacturers I should add in here, as well as what type of cars and their models. So if you guys have an idea, please shoot me that. Now, the next class category is the muscle and sports class, V6, V8 rear-wheel drive. So in that category, the Ford Mustang GT Dark Horse or slightly older models like the regular GT could be a part of it. Chevrolet, which is the Camaro, whether it's the SS or LT1. Dodge Challenger or Charger is still being weighed upon. RT Scat Packs are allowed in this, but like I said, we're still weighing on which Dodge. Lexus is a part of this. IS 500 or the RSF, and Infiniti Q60 Red Sport 400 is one of the main ones. It's the only one I can really think of. The luxury performance class, precision, high output. I'm sorry, I had to make myself sound fancy there. So for that, BMW, the M series, which is the M2, M3, and M4. Cadillac, CT4V, CT5V, and Blackwing. Lexus, LC500, and the Infiniti Q50 Red Sport. Oh, I'm sorry, I messed that up. The Lexus and Infiniti did not belong. Well, it does belong in the sport class along with the muscle, but they're supposed to be separate, so my bad for that confusion. As far as technical restrictions and modification ceilings, it's kind of complicated because we want to make it fair for everybody, because there's a chance where I could let each class race on their own class, like multi-class racing, or I could have you guys race as a whole. But that also depends on how many of you guys are on the field. So the go to power to weight rule, for example, because we want to balance the power and weight of everyone so they can all have an even battle. So vehicle compliance is verified using the official series chassis, dyno, and certified scale system immediately following qualifying sessions. The vehicle weight calculation incorporates the car, all functional fluids, and driver in full racing gear. Under this structure, high horsepower platforms must maintain heavy baseline weights, while lower power platforms are authorized to remove interior components to reduce mass down their respective weight floor. Next is the powertrain and engine constraints. OEM internal integrity, pretty much. The engine block, cylinder head, piston, camshaft, internal rotation assemblies must remain entirely original, equipped, manufacturer, OEM, specified, matching the unique factor of VIN. Custom engine swaps outside the brand production lines are forbidden. So pretty much, just like I said for the Kia, I know we're going to be swapping the engine out of this one, but if we do compete in the racing series, then it's going to be stock. But we want everyone to have somewhat of an even playing field, so we're going to keep all the engines the way they are. So it can save you guys money on putting like whatever modifications you need to beat these people. So yeah, I just want to keep it fair. Authorized bolt-on modifications. Teams may only modify the air intake, exhaust plumbing, provided meets track disciple limits, and engine cooling units, radiators, and oil coolant. Electrical management. Software modifications via engine control ECU, collaborations, or piggyback tuners are acceptably permitted, strictly for adjusting power outputs to safely meet the mandatory 1 to 9.5 power to weight ratio. So pretty much, like I said, we're keeping everything pretty much stock, but you guys can get like air intakes, coolants, and stuff like, so the car can last. Now this section is pretty straightforward as well, but this is a part where I really want you guys to pay attention to as well. This talks about the drivetrain, suspension, and braking. Transmission constraints. The stock transmission causing the internal gear ratio must remain as delivered from the factory. Sequential racing gearbox or aftermarket dog engagement setups are fully illegal. The differential exceptions. Vehicles may be retrofitted with a aftermarket mechanical limited slip differential, LSD. This variation is approved exclusively as a safety measurement to prevent asymmetrical power application during corner exit maneuvers. Now this part is actually kind of something you guys have to do research on. Now I know I talked about tires before when it came to like the Kia Stinger, but here's the tire rules for you guys. To remove high-cost racing slicks from competition, all entry must run an identical controlled tire compound, a commercially available street legal performance tire processing a minimum uniform tire quality grade rating of 200 tread wear. That's the bold word, 200 tread wear. I almost tongue twisted on that for some odd reason, so forgive me on my little stutter. Tire width restriction may be implemented via official VOP bulletin based on baseline vehicle weight. So that's pretty much like the sum of what I want to explain to you guys now, but there's going to be another part probably in the next episode when I explain to you more about this. But that is just part of the global manufacturer challenge street race. So as far as those who are wondering where are going to race, how is this going to be formed, that's also going to be in a separate video, because there's actually a lot to explain as far as that, of where we're going to go. But I will say like this: if you were to start a race here, it will be in Willow Springs or Buttonwillow. It will be seasonal, not like every weekend or something like that. It will be seasonal. So I can't give you that date yet because I'm still working on it. Like, all this is still a draft. So I will put this document into the description below so you guys can read it, and in the next video I'll actually explain it more in depth, because there's a lot to cover in that. So be ready for that, and hopefully you catch up.